this is here and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another video inside of Hermitcraft Season Clockwork. We are going to be looking at Chapter 2 today. Chapter 2 and 3. How about that? Yeah. Maybe 4. I think we should edit Chapter 4. Because first time when I did it, it was fine. It's fine. Yeah. Let's just do it. Yeah, I definitely did do this before and accidentally mess up and decided I wanted to do it again anyway, so. Well, yeah. You'll never know. Also, more world building. More world building. I appreciate it. I appreciate some world building. Yeah. Chapter 2. Impulse looked down at the sleeping form of Scar, buried underneath blankets and towels of healing, to potentially relieve any pain that they may have missed as he stepped back. Gem and Green were waiting downstairs, while Pearl was in the communicator room calling for medical assistance. He'd hoped Scar would have woken up by now, and that they wouldn't need to call in, but that was not the case. Whatever had happened resulted in Scar being in a coma-like state, all because of one potion of harming. He walked away from the bed as he went to the door, glancing over to the window for a moment as he hesitated. Changing his mind as he walked over to the window, checking to make sure it was locked. Once he was satisfied, he walked back to the door and opened it, looking both ways down the hallway before stepping out and nearly closing the door behind him, leaving it open a crack, just in case. His attention was redirected when he heard something climbing up the stairs behind him as he turned to see Green walking up to the top of the stairs, making it to the top of the stairs. "Any news?" Green asked slowly. Bull shook his head. "Nothing so far. I was just about to check in on Pearl to see how the call was going." The YouTuber nodded. "Do you think there's anything we could have done to prevent this?" "I don't know," Impulse admitted, "but he's stable. That has to be a good sign." Green managed a small smile. "Jem just told me about what happened to Scar back there. I can't believe he went through all that just to help me." "He's your friend, of course he would," Impulse chuckled, stepping out of the way of the door. "If you want to keep him company for a bit while I do some more testing on the gadgets." "He can't seem to make up his mind, I'm sorry." "Like the portable version?" Green asked curiously. "Yeah," the YouTuber nodded. "I have a prototype right now, but I wanted to make sure it works with another one first." "Good luck with that," Green said encouragingly as he pushed the door open. "I'm sure it'll be a game changer." Impulse smiled gratefully as the young man disappeared through the door and began to walk over to his workshop, stopping at the door as the communicator room opened and Pearl stepped out. "Someone should be coming within the hour," Pearl told him with a nod. "Hopefully whatever they have can help." Impulse sighed. "Yeah." Pearl nodded her head. "How did that even happen without anyone noticing?" "I noticed, but then I couldn't do anything," Impulse admitted quietly. She frowned. "Is that why Matthias wanted to talk to you? Something about that?" "Pretty sure, yeah," the YouTuber said. She nodded her head. "I'd suggest you don't talk about it too much, though, just to be safe." "Do you think the guy might come after me next?" Impulse asked wearily. She shrugged. "Just be careful, okay? No one is safe at the moment, especially with those men at large." "You don't seem too fazed by them," Impulse admitted. "That doesn't mean I don't care." She stood by gently as she took a step closer. "Did you say anything to the others about what happened with the communicator?" Impulse asked. She shook her head. "Not the little details, just what they need to know." "I'll be careful, don't worry," Impulse reassured her. She nodded her head, seeming to be satisfied. "We all need to work together here and have each other's backs. Just know, if you need anything, we're here for you." "Oh, I know," he said with a knowing smile, as she returned to the smile before walking away. Probably to talk to Jem about something or figure out what they should do next, seeing as all of them had gone down. He knew she was right, that the less people who knew what he'd seen, the better off everyone would be. He knew he felt safe here with all of his friends in the cause, but that didn't mean that no one would try to do anything if they knew. But the man had known. They'd seen each other just before the man had thrown the potion. He had failed to mention that fact thus far, mostly because of what it could possibly mean. Maybe it meant nothing, or maybe everything. It was hard to know as he walked to the table with a small device as he picked it up, examining it with a spare communicator he'd borrowed from the cause before asking for it. After asking for it, somehow Xavier had managed to get him one, which he was eternally grateful for. It was worth trying to figure this out. If it meant having an advantage over their enemies, that's what they desperately needed right now. Chapter 3. Impulse tinkered at the workshop table, creating a second copy of the first gadget, just about getting it complete when he heard someone knocking on the door. He slowly put down the tools that he was using as he turned to the closed door. She'd closed for privacy reasons, and so that you wouldn't get distracted by the outside world. Come in. The door opened as he watched Matthias walking in, closing the door before coming out to see what he was up to. Are you open to talking about what happened back there, or do you want to wait? I'm fine with talking about it, Bill said quickly. Have you told anyone else yet? Matthias asked. I've only mentioned it to Pearl, but she told me not to talk about it, he replied quietly. Get why, though? What exactly do you want to know? Everything, the man said matter-of-factly. Try not to keep anything out. It could be crucial, especially when it comes to ensuring the safety of yourself and your friends. Impulse nodded his head. I spotted him when walking into the meeting hall. He was just standing on the ledge at the far wall. The window was open. He paused for a moment. I'm really surprised no one else noticed him, especially you guys. Yeah, Matthias replied with a small frown. Did he see you? Impulse hesitated for a moment, sure of what he should say, as he looked from the man to the floor before nodding his head slowly. We made eye contact before he threw that potion. He knew what he was doing. You're sure it's a he? Matthias pressed. And to be fair, I have no idea. Impulse chuckled nervously. For all I know, it could have been a woman. I just assumed that it was a man based on his posture and form. All right, the man replied softly. Have you seen the man since that moment? Not yet, Impulse replied. Would you tell someone in the cause or one of your friends if you did, or didn't feel safe? Matthias questioned. Of course, Impulse said defiantly. I think I'll be okay, though. He wasn't after me. I'm not even sure what he would even want. Still, every reason to be careful, the man frowned. If you see anything, let someone know. I will, sir. Impulse nodded his head. I'll let you get back to your work, then. Take care, the man replied, satisfied with the small meeting as he went to the door, opening it before walking out, disappearing as the door closed behind him. Impulse waited for a few moments more, sensation of uneasiness filling inside of him. Would they find the man before he struck again? Who was the man working for? What was he supposed to do now, other than be careful? He stood there for what felt like a while before he was finally able to snap out of the daze he was in as he took a breath, shaking his head as he returned to the device, finishing it as he concealed the redstone inside, turning them both over as he looked at them admiringly. They looked identical, perfect, flawless, though he wasn't sure if it would do what he needed it to do. He glanced over at the dismantled communicator before going to pick up the devices to test them when he heard voices outside the door. Hope filled him as he walked over, opening it, to see that there was someone walking into Scar's room. Help had arrived after all. Soon there would be news. Hopefully it would be good. He could see Jem and Pearl standing outside the door as Jem waved cheerfully as he walked over. How are things going in there? Jem asked encouragingly. I think I was just about to finish the gadget, Impulse replied. I've been working on it over the couple months while you and Scar were gone. I never mentioned it because, well, you know. That's okay, she beamed. I kind of want to see it, though. Now, honestly, I'm curious. I'll show you later, he told her happily as he looked over at the door. He'll be okay in there, don't worry, Pearl assured him. Maybe we should go downstairs and do something for a little bit to get our minds off things. I was about to test the gadget with the communicator over in the communicator room to see if it worked just as well, Impulse admitted. We can test it together, Jen said eagerly. Yeah, Impulse smiled just as the door opened again as he noticed Liam walking out, a hopeful expression on his face. Test what exactly? The boy asked curiously, unintentionally overhearing their conversation. Nothing really, just wanted to see how my portable gadget fared against the communicator, Impulse said humbly. That'd be interesting, and Liam said with a slow nod. Do you think you could provide some to work elsewhere as well when they're ready? It could be really handy for a lot of people. Yeah, I'll need help making as many as I can, but I think I got I can get that, no problem, Impulse said with a nod. How much do you want? A chocolate box full? Maybe a few, Liam admitted. I'll give you one, and then you can have people replicate it from there. Impulse mused with a chuckle. It's pretty simple. Practically just a smaller, more compact version of the communicator. Sounds good to me, Liam said with a nod. When could you get it done? 2 days from now if all goes well. I'll let someone know when it's ready, he said matter-of-factly with a chuckle. Great, I'll be on my way then, Liam nodded. As for Scar, you're doing the right things already. Just some time, rest, and food. He should be back to his feet in no time. Has he woken up yet? Jim asked nervously. He shook his head. I expect him to wake up in a few days. If not, just give me a call and I'll come check it out. Yes, sir. Impulse nodded with relief. Blah. Thanks again for the help. Anytime, Liam said with a wide smile as he waved, walking toward the stairs before disappearing from view. Now, how about some dusting? Impulse asked the girls. Yeah, Jim exclaimed excitedly, already running over to the workshop before he even was able to say another word, even though he already probably had to. She probably didn't notice. Yeah. Come on, Impulse. Pearl insisted with a smile. Let's not keep her waiting. He chuckled as he followed her towards the workshop as well. The thought of everything that had happened fading from his mind. Everything would be okay. Scar would wake up, and they'd go back to normal, the way it should be. Chapter 4. Impulse examined his handiwork. Managed to finish 3 out of the 20 or more gadgets he wanted to make within the time frame of 2 days. The next day had since arrived. Jem and Pearl having returned to their houses, but promising to visit soon. Impulse was basically alone with Xavier and Scar, who was still fast asleep. Green had gone back to his base after his escort picked him up, having been part of a search to find the attacker. There had been no luck, as the Eater had feared. The morning had been completely spent working on these little gadgets, as he wiped the sweat from his brow, contemplating whether or not he should recruit some of the hermits to help. He stepped back from the table, glancing up at the window just in time to notice something in the trees that made him freeze. He wasn't sure what he had seen, because it had disappeared a second later, but he could have sworn he'd seen something or someone staring at him. Unease filled him as he walked to the door, opening it as he went down the hall, glancing over his shoulder warily as he walked over to Scar's room, peeking in to see the YouTuber was still fast asleep. Nothing seemed to have stirred, apart from the fact that a towel appeared to have fallen to the floor, completely dry, as he walked over and picked it up, carefully folding it before putting it on the nightstand. Stay strong, Scar, Impulse told him encouragingly, though he wasn't sure the man could hear him. You got this. Took a deep breath, not realizing how shaky he was feeling as he walked out of the room, and half closed the door before moving towards the workshop again, snatching one of the portal devices. Portable. Why did I say portal? Portable devices as he looked out the window again. He squinted for a moment, trying to see if he could see anything. Sure if there were particles, or just leaves rustling in the trees. He walked out of the room with his device as he pressed a few buttons, connecting to several communicators from around as they connected. Waited for a moment before he heard voices going through. Hey guys, Impulse said simply, showing his best smile, knowing that they couldn't see it. What's going on, Impulse? Tango's voice asked. I need a favor from you guys, Impulse. The YouTuber replied. I'm trying to replicate these portable gadgets for Liam, and I've already managed to get 4 done. Would you guys be willing to help me out and get the rest done for tomorrow? Of course, Tango said eagerly. Happy to help, Impulse. Mumbo's voice echoed through. Can I come too? Beato's voice declared happily. Yeah, you can come too. I need all the help I can get, Impulse admitted, unsure if he should mention the fact that he also felt unsettled. What even was that thing? Why did he still feel like someone was watching him? He decided not to. Probably was nothing anyway. Besides, he wouldn't be alone, which would be a bonus. See you guys in 5 minutes? Count on it, Tango said confidently. Impulse sighed in relief, thanking them before disconnecting the call as he pocketed the device in a hidden pocket in its jeans, deciding to keep this one, as it was the first one he'd made. He felt a little attached to the thing, as it was based on his own unique design, something to be proud of. Sure enough, the hermits arrived relatively quickly as he led them to the workshop, and they all got to work, chatting about upcoming events and other matters that came up. He was just glad to get some help with the device, especially meaning that it would get done faster. Sure enough, they had enough for a full shulker box just as the sun was starting to set. Is it everything? Tango asked as Mumbo and Beat-Ups began to pack up, and both carried the full shulker box to the corner of the room, and he shook his head, saying everything was fine. Just let us know if you need anything. Will do, Impulse said with a wave as Tango, Mumbo, and Beat-Ups headed out. He went over to the window as he waited, watching all three of them fly off into the sunset before vanishing from sight. He smiled, admiring the sunset before deciding to check on Scar one last time before bed. He walked into the hallway, heading for Scar's bedroom, peeking inside to find him still fast asleep. He could almost swear he saw the edge of the YouTuber's mouth twitch as he closed the door behind him. Walking over to his bedroom as he opened it, freezing as he saw something jumping from his window. Shadowed figure as it landed to the ground and disappeared. He swallowed as he went over to the window, closing it, as he wondered how it got open anyway, before he noticed something on the windowsill. The image of a blue clock, with 4 distinct sides, with a larger hand pointing upwards, was smaller to the right by 90 degrees. Swallowed as he picked it up to examine it. He knew he should show someone. He should tell someone what was going on. Maybe even arrange for Xavier to drop off the shulker box without him. Right now, no, he's too tired. He had a long day tomorrow waiting. He'd managed to distract himself long enough. He put the picture down as he walked over to his bed, climbed in, finding himself having no issue closing his eyes. He fell fast asleep. Oh no. Impulse woke up the next morning with someone gently shaking him awake as he opened his eyes as he looked up to see Xavier staring down at him. Ready to go? Someone here to watch Scar? Impulse mumbled sleepily as wiping his sleepers from his eyes as he stifled backing on. Yep, one of the backups volunteered until Hermits take over, Xavier replied. That's good, Impulse replied as he pulled back the covers and hopped out. I just need to get out the box and we can get going. See you downstairs then, the man replied with a cheerful smile as they walked out of the room. Impulse nodded, suddenly remembering the piece of paper as he turned around to the window to see it had disappeared. Had Xavier found it and stashed it away or something? Or someone had been here during the night to fetch it? Another uneasy feeling filled him as he took a deep breath. He wouldn't be alone. He had Xavier with him. They would be fine. There was nothing he needed to worry about. He left his bedroom as he went over to his workshop, finding the gadgets exactly as he had left it before in the shulker box. He even tested a couple to make sure they still worked and weren't compromised. Perfect condition. This would be fine. He would be fine. He picked up the box and stored it away as he walked out of the room, going over to the stairs as he passed Scar's bedroom, just about seeing one of the cause members within. He had to trust they would do their job justice. There was a task he needed to get done. He still debated whether or not he should even go, but it seemed too late to change his mind now. He was doing this. He walked down the stairs, stumbling a little along the way down before regaining himself as he pushed forward. He got down the stairs as he met with Xavier, frowned as he saw him. Is everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. Impulse laughed nervously. I'll be fine. The man nodded his head, gesturing him to follow as he did so, obediently, as the two of them walked into the woods towards the portal. The area was still and quiet as they walked, Impulse following Xavier closely behind. He didn't have a good feeling about this, but he didn't want to back out now. He had to do this. He'd made a deal. He had to pull through. It didn't take them long before they arrived at the portal to see someone waiting for them. Xavier nodded in its direction as Impulse took out the box. Is that what we asked for? What was asked for? The man by the portal asked bluntly. Yes, sir. A full shulker box first, Impulse reported, all working functionally well. Very good. Let me take that off your hands, the man replied as he yanked the box away from the YouTuber, storing it away before giving them a wave, disappearing back into the portal as Impulse and Xavier stood there. Impulse felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end as he felt eyes watching him. As he looked around, a growing sensation of danger filling him. He looked nervously over at Xavier. think we should go. I don't like this. I'm afraid neither of you will be going anywhere, a smooth, cold voice said from above as Impulse slowly looked up just as the man dropped down. Took a frightened step back, and Xavier shielded him. It was the man again. What's he doing here? What do you want? Impulse, get out of here. I can deal with this. Xavier said firmly as the YouTuber didn't hesitate, grabbing rockets as he launched himself into the air as he heard an explosion from below and a cry of pain. He glanced down just in time to see an arrow fly in his direction, managing to dodge it as he tried to fly higher. Fortunately, not more than a moment later did he feel a sharp pain erupt on his side. As he gasped in pain and stumbled with his gliding efforts before falling with a cry. He landed in it with a thud on the ground as he groaned, struggling to sit up before someone kicked him back down again. He looked up to see the man looming over him, holding something in his hand. You'll have to do, the man replied sympathetically. He bent down and covered the YouTuber's nose and mouth with a cloth, and he smelled the funny scent filling him as he struggled to pull away. Seeing the darkness starting to consume his vision as he tried to cry for help. No avail, his whole world plunged into darkness. You know I'm going to do it. I know you know I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, but this is going to be the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. With these short episodes, combining them, like, oh yeah. I just want to leave some suspense, okay? Just some suspense. I hope you are suspended. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed reading this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that might be. Goodbye.